Big salute to a legend, to
My
someone
God.
who has contributed to the culture in one of the most important brands in the world. Sorry, it's true. This is one of the greatest brands to ever exist. ARP, the motherfucking legend. ARP, how are you today, sir?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I appreciate such an intro, man. And it's even dope to hear people mentioning sorry it's true. That's one of my little brick by brick projects right there, man. So that's dope to hear. But man, it's always an honor, man. I treat it like it's still day one, month one, year one of RBE. Anytime I hear intros like that. So much appreciated, homie. Real talk.
Man, God bless you for real. You set the
Likewise.
blueprint. You created opportunities. You've done so much for the culture. And it's like, just to get
Thank
this
you.
opportunity to talk to you about my personal journey with RBE, I'm going to start in a segment called Nostalgia. And I know everybody has their favorites, but I'm going to be selfish in this special moment and I'm going to highlight some battles that had a personal impact on my life. You ready?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so I'm gonna run through them, and after I run through them, I'm gonna ask you to tell me some background about these battles. You ready?
Got you. Definitely. Let's get it.
Here we go. So battle number one that had the most impact on my life is Daylyt versus Oops. Do you remember that
Mm.
battle?
Did you really just ask me if I remember that? Come
Listen,
on, man.
Daylyt versus Oops, man. I'm gonna be totally 100% honest. I cried watching that. I've never
Man,
cried in my life watching a battle. Their third
man.
rounds are so special. Like Oops and Daylyt just, oh my God. And when Daylyt breaks down how he got his name, it
Yeah,
was not, pops at my front door, but never my father. Just, oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
So
So
there's a
go ahead.
lot to that. Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, so setting that battle up to begin with, you remember, Oops was fairly new on the scene at that point. Like a lot of people didn't know who he was. He was the opening battle to our very first card ever. He opened up the show versus a guy from Staten Island that I wanted to give a look to from somebody local. He had a pretty good showing, and then we went forward with that, and we did him versus Mr. Mills. Mr. Mills actually beat Oops on the second battle that he had on RBE. But you know,
Facts.
I liked what I saw, and I rocked with both of those guys. It wasn't really about who won, who lost, as long as they both had a good show. And I knew that there was going to be ways for me to get them both situated moving forward. That's where you see Mr. Mills go forward with matchups like JC after that later on, and Oops, you know, his next one after that. It was a super challenge. It was Red for $2,000 judged in the building.
Mm,
Yeah, very,
yo,
very close. At the end of the battle, Red said it's one of the toughest matches he had to that point in his career. And then after that, you know, Daylyt and I started talking, and there was some initial concern that he would you know not take Oops that serious because even though Oops had you know what a lot of people consider a classic performance and a classic battle with Red, he was still a fairly new name, and back then the walls of top tier versus up and comer, you know those walls weren't really broken down like that just yet. You know, everybody pretty much stuck to their tier. But he assured me, man, and this was when I realized that, you know, when me and Daylyt developed our relationship behind the scenes, that I could depend on him outside of his trolling. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Yeah, I
mm.
could depend
Yeah.
on him outside of his trolling. And yeah, we situated the battle, and on top of that, him and Oops, you know, they had a friendship. They both, you know, was writer's block at one point as well.
That's a
And
fact. That's a fact.
yeah, yeah. So when they both showed up, you know, when you mentioned that bar from Daylyt, you know, pops at my door, it's like that was the first time ever that Daylyt rapped and explained why he does the things that he does, why he trolls, why he
Man,
has a face tattoo. He revealed his gunshot wounds in his stomach, lifted up his shirt, revealed his gunshot wound to
man,
his hand, you know, and
man.
then Oops, a lot of people don't know, but Oops' third round is like 95% freestyled. He changed it last minute because
What?
he really had a dream that made him think that, you know, this is such a slow paced dream. If I put it into word format, that I think I could freestyle it. And his third round isn't what he prepped. He brought that to the stage. It was all in an emotional moment. And I'm with you, man. I've never watched a battle and looked in the YouTube comments, and I've never been at a battle live where it actually invoked tears. People in the building, you
Oh,
look down and see
what?
people crying. So that's one of my top three. not just RBE battles, but that's one of my top three favorite rap battles of all time. So that's why I laugh when you ask me if I remember it.
Yo, that was, I mean, to this day, I played that back before and I just, whew, it's just chills. Like, it's such a beautiful battle from
Yeah.
start to finish from both gentlemen. Okay, let's get into the next one. You tweeted about this today, and being from Brooklyn myself, this battle meant so much to me. Math Hoffa versus ShowOff. Now,
Me,
ShowOff is one of my favorite battlers
me
ever,
as
and
well.
it's
Me as
because
well.
of the RBE brand. And but I gotta ask you, and you talked about it in the clip, but I gotta ask you, when ShowOff said nobody's gonna do nothing, we gonna lock the doors, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, it's real. Like, this
Yeah.
is crazy. What was going through your mind when you were watching the energy? They both killed it. They both was killing it. But what was going through your head when you were watching that energy? And what do you remember from all that?
So the precursor to that is there's an upstairs little VIP section behind the stage, and then you go upstairs, and it's really reserved for media and battle rappers. And towards the end of the night, I crossed paths heading to the stage with ShowOff backstage, and he tried to stop me real quick, but I was like running to get back to hosting the event and closing out the night. You're on time restrictions with the venue and all that type of stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like running back and
Mm-hmm.
forth like this, bing, 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 bing. And he tried to stop me. He said, yo, yeah, yo. And I was like, yo, what's up? What's go? Like, come on, what's going on? Come on, let's move, let's move. And he's like, yo, I want to tell you something about what I'm going to rap in my third round. And I said, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Just know I'm on point. And the reason why I told him that is because I knew that there was pre-tension between those two guys already. It was whether it was because they were both from Brooklyn, whether it was because they both just are like that, whether it was a mixed bag of history that they kind of had.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was
Mm-hmm.
promoted as the bully battle. So when he started talking to
Yes.
me behind the scenes, I stopped him because number one, I wanted my plausible deniability as a league owner and a host. Like, look, ain't nobody gonna turn around. Like, oh, ARP, you knew he was gonna say this, and you still let it go. I don't want none of that as a league owner. So that's number one.
Okay.
And number two, everybody that knows me knows I don't listen to bars. Yeah, I like if I'm going to be in the building live, I don't want to hear your material. I want to hear it live. There's nothing like live battle rap. There's nothing like it.
That's real.
So I
That's
never
real.
let people rap their shit to me because even though I'm standing in the middle of that stage hosting and conducting business and being the face and the owner, I'm still a fan. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't let him tell me. And then when he got to that last bar, I was like, oh my God, after all of this, really? You gonna talk about you know? But Math was he stood his ground the same way Shaw stood his ground. And it was just one of those that if you were there, you understand that it wasn't about rapping, really. It wasn't about people cheering for bars. It was you could hear a pin drop for 6 rounds in the building, that whole battle.
Man, every
That
fact,
whole battle.
I wasn't even in the building. I was nervous watching the battle. Like,
Yeah,
the energy was just amazing. And
yeah.
Matt, salute to Matt for Brooklyn legend. Him even
100%.
giving that shot to Show, and Show really performing and doing everything he did. I was just so that the battle. Some battles don't live up to the hype. That battle gave us everything we needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, that was
So.
that was that was one of those, and you gotta have a mixed bag. If you got a real deep legacy and library and battle rap, you got a little bit of everything. You got classics, you got bar battles, you got history, you got grudge matches, you got tense moments, you got controversy. It's just the nature of the beast, and that's one of those that falls into like that kind of grudge, real. Is it gonna go down type of vibe? It just
A hundred
happens. It's part of
percent.
battle rap.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. So this next one, you know, first of all, we're gonna get to how incredible these intergender battles have been on RBE. You got some classic intergender battles, but this
appreciate
one,
it.
ours is my personal favorite battle of all time.
Mm.
Arsenal versus QB. It's one of the wildest battles. Ours is crazy. The
Yeah.
things he says in that battle. What do you recall from that whole
I
battle?
just interviewed him last week or a couple days ago, and I brought up to him. I thought one of his most disrespectful moments. Another reason is because it's a woman. You know what I'm saying? But he ended his first round with Trump's line. Grabbing the. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah,
Trump got caught with
yeah,
that controversy and whatnot on audio. He
yeah.
said Trump said I could. And I was just like, oh, and then he went up to her to perform it out. And
Ours
I'm
is
not. I
crazy.
don't know the extent of what Arsenal would have done. I'm not trying to put that
Right.
on his name, but QB still like tried to block him. as if like it was like grab him a little bit. And I was just like,
QB's
oh
crazy
my
too.
God, yeah, that's the homie too. And then it turned into a haymaker. The whole crowd went crazy during that moment. And it was just Arsenal being Arsenal, living up to his name, the king of
100%.
disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. And QB did a thing too. Let's be clear. She held her own. QB one of the
yeah,
goats in this. Like, great battle all around.
yeah.
All right. So this next one, you know, this guy gets a lot of controversy around his name because of everything that happens outside of the ring. But I want to focus on inside the ring.
hmm
And me personally, as a long-term fan of this man's battles, music, this was such a beautiful moment for me as a fan. Aye Verb versus Murda Mook.
Classic,
That
epic,
for me
epic,
personally is one of the best RBE battles ever. When
epic.
he hits the "You're not like us" and just Verb just I just felt like
Yeah.
he really. What were your thoughts on that battle?
Man, it's one of those moments that's way bigger than the stage, right? You have the announcement of Murda Mook returning to battle rap, and he had been gone for about 4.5 years, right?
Mm.
So to bring back Murda Mook in 2018, when battle rap is still trending at its peak, like almost all these, even mid-tier drops, 100,000, 150,000 views, top tier drops, 250,000. Everybody's doing big views on YouTube. YouTube is still fully monetized before the ad apocalypse starts and all that type of stuff. And it changed all the algorithms around profanity. So like even the viewership was like up. And to bring Murda Mook back at a time like that, and then match him with somebody that he has all that New York versus or East Coast versus Midwest history with, it was like a RBE move because we knew we wanted to do something big, and we knew we wanted to pair him with somebody that was a little bit more unconventional versus what the fans were asking for. They were asking for Mook versus T Top or Mook versus Surf at the time. So for us to announce
Facts.
Aye Verb, and not just announce him versus Aye Verb, but also announcing him versus Aye Verb when Aye Verb happened to be coming off of a loss to Pat Stay, Judge, rest in peace, Pat Stay.
Rest in
It
peace, Pastor.
Yeah, it was tricky, but controversy also moves the needle. So you take that
Absolutely.
initial controversy and then you add on the fact of Aye Verb and Murda Mook then chiming in with some big promotion. They got to a great face off. By the time we got to the stage, like I said, it was just a moment that was so much bigger than battle rap. Murda Mook had all these celebrities posting on IG. If you go to my Instagram, you see I screenshotted all of them. You got The Game, you got Floyd Mayweather's camp, you got Wyclef, you got
Amazing.
LL Cool J, you got you got a Jada Kiss, you got like Busta Rhymes, Dame Dash, you got all these celebrities. Like it was just like one of those battle, the whole world stops moment, and
Man, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. That was
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
and I will always
ARP, you be
highlight
making
that
history.
round, man. Like you brought it up, man. Aye Verb's first round, it's for the books. And Mook's third
History.
round is for the books. Mook will never do that again. He did it one time only. Leading into the battle, he told me, he said, you're gonna think that you paid me for two battles. I had no clue what he was talking about. What he was talking about was the actual amount of material that he gave me. To give me
Mm.
a 23, I think say 23 or 26-minute third round, no stumbles, perfectly delivered after being away from battle after so long. Some battles, the full upload from two opponents is that long. So for him to do that in one round, like to me, that's like a legacy thing for the RBE library. He'll never do that. Nobody, I don't think
100%.
anybody will ever do that. So
100%.
yeah,
100%.
epic
All
man.
right. So this next one, there's so much history behind this battle, and me personally, as a black man, I love to see black men succeed and also
My
settle
man,
their differences in a creative fashion.
definitely.
Um, true closure, in a sense. Bill Collector versus Hitman
Mm,
Holla.
yeah, yeah,
Amazing battle, monumental for the culture.
yeah.
Just what made you decide to put that together, and what do you remember? What are your thoughts on that battle?
I mean, in battle rap, you have if you're being a good league owner, there's a lot of matchmaking that you're gonna do, right? And I appreciate the reputation that RBE has always had for our matchmaking and our creativity over the years. But there also are those battles that's out there that the fans are already ahead of the curve on, where it's already a pre prepackaged match. Like, it's not like I have to just announce, hey, Murda Mook versus Big K. And then everybody's like, we didn't ask for this, but okay, let's check it out and see what happens. No, it's one of those, like, we want to see this. We know the history of the incident that happened between Bill Collector and Hitman. And then fast forward all these years, these guys never even crossed paths. Like, the first time that they ever seen each other in person since that incident in the street was at the face-off the night before they took the
Crazy,
stage. You
crazy.
know what I'm saying? So like moments like that, you know, and putting all that together and being able to wrap that type of history that those two guys had in business and put it on a card called Closure, with every matchup having, you know, a backstory to it of some type of grudge or a problem, and then just package all of that up and deliver it. And then those two guys showing up, being professional, and not just being professional, but actually delivering a classic battle. Like, you know, you really can't ask for more than that. And it was also in a smaller room too, like something that was kind of like around the size of Club Tron.
Right.
And they just lived up to the hype, man. So when you got these big mega matches and battles that have history, one thing that you really, really just want to see happen is it lives up to the hype. And not only did it live up to the hype, but it surpassed the hype. So, you know, I'm very proud of that matchup, definitely.
100%. And salute to RBE as always. Y'all lived up to the rare breed title. Y'all been
My
doing it.
God.
One thing I want to
Yeah,
stress as far as rare breed goes, you've always had a keen eye for talent. And certain talents really became giants in a culture. I want to highlight this. Big K,
appreciate
number
it.
one. Big K, incredible career, dominated on multiple platforms, became champion of the year. Another one is Rosenberg Raw, a true legend in this, gave us multiple quotables,
Yeah,
now dominating in the media platform. Math Hoffa, you know what I'm saying? Incredible talent, and who's gone on to do some legendary things in the podcasting world, of my expert opinion.
definitely.
Goods, we just seen Goods rapping next to Lil Wayne, and it's like how do you've been working with these guys for a decade over? How do you see these people and know what do you know what they're gonna become? How do you feel about what they become? And how did you even like? It just seems like you knew who to really invest in. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I think you closed it right there with what I've definitely been known for, is knowing what to invest in, and that also being partnered with matchmaking, right? Because some of these guys, I've stood in front of them, I've watched them take losses, I've watched them have, you know, poor or mediocre performances, but you stick with it, right? You stick with certain things. It's like that initial wave of RBE where you had Adi Boom, Oops, Jims, ShowOff, Mr. Mills, JC was a part of that as well, so forth and so on, Rosenberg. Like, when you have like that initial group of people where you say, we're the front line, and I have this formula, I have this matchmaking style, I have this card construction style, I have some of these visions, you know, and some of these ideas, and they meet me halfway. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a team effort. It's definitely a team effort, but I think I get more credit for matchmaking than I do for necessarily seeing that type of talent. Because when you mention like a Big K, even though you have to have an eye for hip hop and an ear and eye, of course, for battle rap, the first time I watched him live was, you know, him versus Illmac, which is a classic battle,
Classic.
right? Yeah, which is a classic battle. So, you know, it's sometimes it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gives everybody their own identity and their own creative lanes. So when I work with Big K, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's a matchup that I'm putting on the table.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? And I love making those calls. I love calling Math and saying, hey, I know you want to battle Holla, right? Hey, Bill Collector, Hitman's ready. Hey, Big K, I got Murda Mook. Hey, Ill Will, I got Hitman. Like, hey, QB, we're about to finally get your Arsenal battle done for the Queen of Disrespect versus the King of Disrespect. I love making those calls and being able to have some of those ideas come to light. So just sticking with those guys or sticking with talent and having like a good eye for matchmaking, I think was one of the pieces of the RBE formula over the years.
Incredible. Speaking of matchmaking, actually, before we get to that, I got a random question for you.
For
How
sure.
did you feel about Calicoe versus Goods?
Calicoe versus Goods. Well, in what
Wait,
respect?
before you answer that, wait. Before you answer that, I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking you about this battle specifically.
Go ahead.
So
Yeah.
one thing for me that ties me to RBE is how much some of these battles parallel into some aspect of my real life. As I said, I'm from Brooklyn, watching ShowOff and Math. That was special for me. Reason why Calicoe and Goods is special for me, my little sister, my mother remarried and got married to a white man. So my little sister was raised by a white man. And so watching this battle, I cracked up so much. You know what I mean? At the
Yeah,
angle and the it's just such a Cal's an Aries
yeah,
like me. So just watching the way he moves, salute the Calicoe, salute the Goods. Goods is
yeah.
is a great, dope human being. I spoke to him a couple of days ago. What were your thoughts? Were you entertained? Was it hilarious? Was it what was this battle like for you? Because it was
I
incredible.
think I think yeah, I definitely think I try not to throw the classic word around too much, but I think that at least bare minimum is an incredible battle by two legends. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And Goods doesn't battle too much, and Calicoe doesn't battle that frequently either. But Goods even less, more rare of him stepping on stage. So to get Goods on the platform is dope. That matchup, it has some backstory to it. Those are two guys that were hanging out there that were interested in matching up with each other. But once again, it just wasn't happening. I'm not going to say to the extent of like a Hitman and Bill Collector or Arsonal and QB, but
Mm-hmm.
it was on a lot of people's radar. And, sometimes you got these matchups that's out there for years and nobody wants to make the investment. Nobody wants to take the risk. Nobody wants to make the call. You know what I'm saying? So when we're constructing that max out 3 card, that was, a matchup where we felt could have been damn near a main event or a co-main event on any card.
Facts.
And to add that to what we had going on, that was just like, this is incredible. And this is also legacy right here. Now, as far as the actual rounds and how it went, I thought it was one of the best Goods that we've seen in a long time. Like he had that
Mm.
hunger because he was under a bunch of narratives during the rollout. People saying that I don't know if that stunting talk is going to work or money talk is going to work, and this is not
Oh,
that
it
type of
worked.
event
He
and
was
all that.
talking. He was
No,
talking.
and the thing is, I think that he mixed it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that he went about it was he still got his regular good shit off, but you saw the hunger and that, he went to the corner more than
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That we used to see in him in recent years. And I thought it was one of his better performances in a long time. Calicoe was Calicoe. You know what I'm saying? That's the fucking wizard. And I've always appreciated nostalgic moments that battle rappers doing on RBE. So for example, like I don't have no ego of when Young Ill says ARP, who is this nigga? And he flips that on, that's like historic in
Mm-hmm.
battle
Mm-hmm.
rap. So
Mm-hmm.
for him to do that on my stage is just like, wow. When Calicoe says it feels like maxed out again, because he's been on maxed out before, everybody knows like feel like summer madness again. When
Word.
when Aye Verb is on your stage and he does a showtime, if you can book Hitman and Hitman does a remix,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
these are all nostalgic things that have like if you like Daylyt. At one point I put he has to do the mask in his fucking in his contract.
And that
You
Ill
know what I'm
Will
saying?
battle was just
Yeah.
crazy.
I put it in his contract. Like you gotta do a round with the mask because there's just certain things that when I look over the RBE library and legacy, I want some of those moments to be captured because there's so much nostalgia if you've been following battle rap for a long time. So Calicoe, he sat right into that, and so did Goods, and they had a great battle. And then you had the narratives after the battle that carried them still promoting and going at each other
100%.
afterwards about yeah, I'll leave that alone. That's between them. But it was
Nah,
it
for
was it was
real.
great, man. It was
Mm.
great. It was great. It
And,
was epic.
speaking of incredible battles, there's some battles that I think a lot of people aren't even aware are on RBE. And for the listeners, everyone in this, salute to everybody that pulled up. I appreciate y'all. Salute to my guy
Salute.
Easy. I want to say this. JC versus Illmac on your channel.
Mm,
Bad News versus
mm,
KD, 12-hour prep battle on your channel. Easy to
yeah,
Block Captain versus Tracks on your channel. There's battles
yeah,
that a
yeah.
lot of people don't even know occurred on your platform. You remember putting those together? Because it just seems to
Say
me
the
like,
say the say the first one again.
so
Say the first one
JC
that you
versus
said.
Illmac.
So let's stop there for a second.
Okay.
One of the funniest things about that battle is I'll say this now because it's a long time ago, but I'm on the phone with Ilmac a couple of weeks before, and he said, I have one job for this battle right here. And I was like, what's that? Because in my mind, I'm like, this is his New York debut.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows him from being, battling, on King of the Dot
Right.
and, mostly Cali and sometimes Toronto and all that. So this was his New York debut, and that's why I introed the battle like that, making sure that they gave him the type of respect that he deserved coming into New York and battling on RBE and battling a guy that's been on RBE for years, right? But he told me, he said, "Yo, I got one job." I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "I just need to stop all the talk about JC versus Lux." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "That's all I care about. I just, for whatever reason, illmac did not feel that JC should battle Lux. And he said, I'm the one that's going to stop this shit."
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was just watching it with that perspective then. I think JC still had a good showing, but
But
illmac
Mac
definitely
was
showed up and showed
wilding.
out.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he showed up and showed out. It's funny, I was just talking to Mac yesterday. Because we got some stuff coming up. So I was just talking about some potential matchups with him yesterday. But shout out to Mac and shout out to JC too,
I
man.
love
But
that.
yeah, the easy one.
I was
So
gonna
that was
get
put
to that.
together.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was put together by the homie Lawrence, and shout out to Easy as well. But that whole 1SK system that started to develop, where we was putting up and comers on every single event. That was one thing that we was always real big on, is that if you're running the pay-per-view, you could have Murda Mook versus Aye Verb returning for one of the biggest pay-per-views that I think happened in battle rap. Like one of them, like definitely easily top 10. Because I be knowing some certain shit, and I be asking around,
100%.
talking to a lot of people. Definitely top 10. But you open up that card and you got some of these up and comers being seen by the world that's watching. You know what I'm saying? It was no different from any other pay-per-view that we were doing. So you got talents like that. That's my first time seeing Easy live in the building. I think he evolved a lot since then.
He's a
If
legend
he looked
now.
the way
He's
that,
a
yeah, if he looked
legend
the
now. What are
way,
we doing?
if he looked the way that he looks now back then you would have seen him on RBE much, 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 much more, unless business-wise something crossed his path and he just would have, had different opportunities in front of him. But he's not the same person now at
He
all.
is a
Not in my opinion.
legend right now.
Nah,
And
not at
and
all.
as one of the goats in this culture, I feel like Easy should, we need to see that. You know what I mean? Do you think we could get a Easy RBE collaboration in the future? Possibly.
Absolutely, I think an easy return is definitely possible. I think we've joked about him doing a full circle in the past, and one thing about Easy I give him credit for is the way that he navigates his career. He's looking for moments, matchups, cards, opportunities to really maximize, the overall impact of what he does. And you got to respect, like Goods does that a little bit. Hitman
Absolutely.
does that. There's
Absolutely.
very, very few people that navigate their careers, and they're very, very. So when you hear somebody like Easy say, like, I'm not sure about Swamp, to me, it's not because Swamp isn't super talented. It's not because Swamp can't possibly get in there with the best of the best. It's because Easy just navigates his career a certain way. You got to respect it. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So I think that's why maybe, things like full circle getting thrown around is just more like a little bit of a hesitance. I'm not bringing back no fucking Max out specifically for Easy. He ain't that important. He ain't
Come
that
on.
fucking
Come on,
important.
ARP. Easy can headline. But speaking of cards and themes, you are really good
Nah,
at
shout out to E.
shout out to E. You are
Yeah.
I've from a branding standpoint, I've studied RBE a whole lot, and you've always had great card titles and themes. Lift His Soul,
Yeah.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Validation, Closure, Divide and Conquer. What was your
Yeah.
favorite brand that you created out of those?
Good question. Good question. I don't think that I want to pick a favorite, to be honest. I'd rather just
Mm.
take the position that, yeah, we were the leaders in that. We started doing movie trailers. Like there's trailers that we did that were full all out
A
skits. Like
hundred
I did a
percent.
skit one time with Swave Sev on the roof, and his security guards take a gun off my head because I'm coming to see him for a booking, and his back is turned to me the whole time like he's Marlo or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And his team homie goes there, like they take a gun off my waist and like they disarm me because I'm coming to see the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? There's one with Goods. We go so far back. We had Goods doing a trailer on a payphone.
I remember the
Like
goods
like
trailer.
that you
That
put
was
a
so
quarter in.
crazy.
Yeah. I had one in a car with ShowOff. I had Adi Boom at his crib. I literally drove to Adi Boom's crib in his basement to do that.
Amazing.
Like I drove to Rosenberg Raw's hood, did one where I'm driving around his hood and I'm looking for him, and I kind of like stumble across his P's, and his niggas pull up on me, and he comes out of the projects like and saves me, like, nah, he's good, he's good. You know, like we started all that. We
100.
started all that. We was very, very cinematic. And if you're gonna be cinematic with your promotion, you know, you should lean that towards the actual card construction. And that's where, like you brought up earlier, the math versus ShowOff, you know, being the bully battle on that same
Mm-hmm.
card is King of Disrespect versus Queen of Disrespect, Arson QB. You got the winner take all, Aye Verb versus J. Like every battle had a theme. You
100%.
know what I'm saying? So I don't really want to take one particular card. I think the hardest one to construct was top five or starting five, not top five,
Okay.
starting five, which
Okay.
was the only time I remember battle rap ever doing team versus team. Now
Right.
it's very easy to do state versus state or city versus city or league versus league. Those are very, very easy to do. But doing group versus group, very, very tough. You had your
Mm.
writers blocks, you had your Goonies, you had your Team Homies, you had your what other groups was prominent? Yeah, gun titles. One time I was talking to Surf about doing a top five, and he had
Fire.
five people with him.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? So those are very, very hard. NWX, they had energy where they were going to possibly do a team event at one time, and it never panned out. Very hard to do those. But when we did that Team Homie versus Writers Block, I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? It lived up to the hype wise too, as far as the
Absolutely.
turnout in the building. Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of big battles, you've had a lot of gladiator fights. That's what I call them, where it's just like two powerful battlers just fighting, slugging it out. Like one of my personal
Yeah.
favorites, and I think the aesthetic of the battle adds to what makes it so incredible to me. Calicoe versus Ill Will. A Ward versus A Verb.
Yeah. Fights.
Like what that the setting for those battles and the energy and how it was sold, and like tell me what you remember of those two battles.
Yeah, so Calicoe versus Ill Will came off so gritty and so taking us back to the early days of battle rap that we launched a whole series off of it called On-Site Battles. And, you know, that battle happened on accident like that. Like we're in the building, and I ain't gonna say who, but there's a couple battle rappers that was very, very late to the event.
Oh man.
And yeah, Club Drum shut us down. It was like, that's it. You know, they cut all the equipment in the building. So the microphones was dead, the tech boards was dead and all that type of shit. Well, cut the ability for us to run, you know, all of our technical shit, so to speak, and just kicked us out. You know what I'm saying? And Jay Mills and K-Shine was actually the main event to that pay-per-view. And we got that battle off, you know, and that's pretty much one of the things that, you know, was most important to the pay-per-view and the stream. Everybody just crammed the building for that. But Calicoe and Ill Will was the undercard to that, the co-main event to that. And Calicoe and Ill Will, they was with it. You know, Cal was just like, man, I don't care. Like, we do whatever. So then we drove back to Jersey, and that's where we had most of the battle is staying, you know, about a 20-minute drive from Club Drum right over the bridge. And that's also where we did the press conference.
Fire.
So right there's like a little parking lot area with like just a little, you know, walk through, pass through that leads you to the hotel. And we just jumped in that spot. And I'm sitting there telling Alva, like, all right, let's cut the stream on. He's like, oh, we can't do no pay-per-view, you know, live stream. Like, we just got to record this shit and drop it right away. I'm just pissed off. So it's tense because I'm just like, yo, they're going to kill me for missing the co-main event. But, you know, just the energy of that, like everybody followed. A bunch of people just loaded in cars because they heard the chatter. Oh, the battle's still going to happen. The battle's still going to happen. Niggas was just following us, like drove to Jersey to follow us.
That's
and shit.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And yo, they performed, you know, like they would on any other street corner back in the day. You know, it was that type of energy, and it, like I said, it started a whole series. It just turned out to be one of the best RBE battles and a classic. You know what I'm saying? What was the other one?
The other one, well, first of all, that is I know you don't like to use the word classic. That is a classic. The energy, the bars, the history of their cities and all that. Like it could not have been.
One day I might release the vaulted piece of that battle, which is
what's the vaulted
piece? Yeah. So everybody knows the scuffle happened, you know, while Cal was rapping, because it was a tense situation the whole time. Cal was really trying Will a lot. And even when the battle was over, Cal told me, he said, I knew that sooner or later he was going to stop me from doing what I was doing. I'm just like, Calicoe, so you just planned to be an asshole like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I know Will is not going to go for it, but for so long. So I'm just going to see, you know, when he's going to finally reach his limit.
So there
But
was
I
a
think in the
scuffle, you
moment,
telling me? That's what you saying right now?
so the scuffle that you see on cam, it continued a little bit more. It
Oh
continued
my
a little bit more, and
God.
then we started like moving around a little bit and figured out if we were gonna have to move and try to restart it again. And I'll just say this, man. When you got a battle, when you got two guys like that and the type of entourages that they had with them, and then you know that it's happening outside, there was a lot of things that was there that wouldn't be inside the building.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So when you got that type of environment, you gotta really try to make sure that it's you treading that thin ice a certain way.
100%.
That's the best way I could put it. And that's why we cut off the cameras to make sure that they wasn't motivated by like, oh, who's watching this? Like,
Yeah, let
nah,
me do the
we
most.
cut all
Yeah.
the ego,
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
but we got the footage.
Yes. And it's a classic.
We got the footage.
The other one is
Yeah.
Verb versus A Ward. And for multiple
Yeah.
reasons, that battle is a gladiator fight. A
Yeah.
Ward brought his best. Verb did some impeccable pre-battle promo. I think some of the greatest promo battle rappers ever seen for that battle. Even by the time
Yeah.
they get to the face-off, it's just, as fans, we're just like, what's gonna happen when they're in the same room? And they both had
Yeah.
incredible bars and moments. A Ward with the Glock 40. Verb, he
Yeah.
had a line. Verb has those lines that the realism lines where he said, about how niggas got to work twice as hard to get the same respect, or how niggas hate on their
Yeah.
own, and it's just like, man, that battle is incredible to me. What do you remember of that, and how do you feel about that battle?
So that one right there, I definitely feel like it was an epic battle. Aye Verb actually co-won performance of the night for that performance. But when
Facts.
you go back to even the lead-in of the promotion, I don't remember seeing a solo battler ever do more promotion for one battle than that particular instance. I don't remember
100%.
ever seeing. I think with the introduction of spaces and Verb being how he is, I think it was just I've never seen more than that. And he had a genuine dislike towards A Wood, and A Wood had a genuine dislike towards Verb. And that's another time.
Facts.
Oh, that's also a time where you don't really see A Wood get put into a corner where he's like, I don't want to talk. Like he didn't want to promote. Like he didn't want to talk. Like he didn't want to give Verb any more ammo. He was already talking about his mother in spaces and personal stuff
Oh
and where he's from.
man.
And he was insinuating that he had proof of like A Ward potentially being racist and all
Uh-huh.
this type of
Uh-huh.
stuff. Like Verb did a lot. He did a lot. Then the face off was sick. They kind of got into it a little bit at the face off. You know what I'm saying? Like, the forehead to
That
forehead
was
moment in the face
crazy.
off.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it's like, yo, we're not supposed to have any physicality. You guys supposed to say anything, get as close as you want, but you're not supposed to touch the forehead to forehead and the face off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But once again, they brought it to the stage and they remained professional. You get the Glock 40 on your bitch ass, which turned into t-shirts. A
Man.
Ward, his first time breaking his Christianity like that on camera, as I remember.
A
You know
hundred
what I'm
percent.
saying?
First time
It
cursing.
was a
That was a
lot.
moment. It was a lot going on.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then for it to be mixed up in the card that it was mixed up in, it was just like when we announced Hitman versus Ill Will, and then we followed up with the second announcement being this, they was just like, yo, take my money. And we was like, no, hold on. We got a lot more rollout to give y'all. Trust me.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah,
That
so
was
it was one of
history.
those.
History. All
Yeah, it
right.
was one of those.
So shifting gears, I want to get into the intergender battles. You're a huge
Yeah,
part of the reason why these women have been able to have these opportunities, and I salute you for that.
appreciate it.
Some
Appreciate
of
it.
the best intergender battles, like Yoshi G versus J2, if I'm not mistaken, is like the highest viewed intergender battle on your channel. I could be wrong, but
No. It's so that's a one SK battle. And it's one of the best one
it
SK
has you one
battles.
SK battle. That's right. Is that correct?
Yeah, it might be the highest viewed one
Okay,
SK,
let's
but
go.
RBE does own the highest view man versus woman
Oh
battle,
yeah.
intergender battle. It's Clips
And
versus Farrah.
that's what I was gonna get to next. That battle
Yeah,
is
it used at one point it was a 2-on-2 with K-Shine and DNA versus 40 and Bonnie. That used to
mm,
hold the title.
mm.
And the way that Farrah and Clips, not only was it a great battle, but it had a viral moment when John and Hitman jumped into Clips's round.
100%. Hold on, I'm gonna get to
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna get to that. All right, so
Oh, my
you got
bad,
you
my bad, my
got
bad, my
you
bad.
got Yoshi G versus J2, Clips versus Farrah, Bonnie versus A Verb. Like these people,
Yeah,
these names, these people have gone on to be incredible. You know, Yoshi G's built a brand. J2 just did his thing on Netflix. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Clips is on Wildin' Out. Farrah's a legend. Bonnie's a legend. She literally put a you know what in Verb's face. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Hold on, you got to stop there. You got to stop right there for a second,
Go ahead.
because we have such a deep legacy and a deep library that I get reminded of certain shit that we've actually done, or that has come through the Rare Breed Entertainment brand. So Aver battling Bonnie at that time, you had to just be there or be in the moment of battle rap to know how a big of a deal that
That
was.
was on
People were just
validation, right?
clamoring.
One of the validation comments. Yeah.
100%. People were clamoring to see Aver battle a woman because he was always being so disrespectful and talking shit towards women. They was like, we got to see Aver battle a woman. So when he got announced with a woman finally, it was like, oh, here we go. But then when Bonnie did what she did in that battle, she put it on World Star. You know what I'm saying? Like that battle is on World Star because of that fucking
It was
moment. And
crazy.
I'm so glad, because it's the only RBE event that we had a cameraman that had to fall out of the fold.
Oh,
And then I ended up taking that front camera that you see.
wow.
That's me. That's the only time I've ever done shooting for an RBE event.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, so luckily, the one event that I had to do camera work is the one event I don't want to be there in the middle of fucking stage when Bonnie does that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I got a little lucky with that,
Yo, that's
but
so
yeah,
funny.
moments, man.
Nah,
Yeah,
salute. And of course, Hitman and them jumping into Farrah's battle. I mean, it's just really been some incredible
yeah.
intergender battles. And another really creative
And
theme.
I see, and real quick too, I see Easy on here. Yo, tell your manager, stop stealing my titles, man. Ladies and gents, being that we're talking about RBE putting on for the intergender battles and the woman versus guy battles. I actually took my ladies and gents event, man, to try to snatch my shit. Rem's a fucking bully, yo, I swear.
Shout out to Rem. Rem is a real one. Like, uh,
Nah,
I was
she's
able to have
definitely
a
a real one.
conversation with. She's a real one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got nothing
Nah,
but
she good
respect. Yeah,
people.
salute.
She definitely good people.
Okay, so another dope theme that you had was social distance.
Mm,
At a time where the world was shutting down and there was a lot going on, you still were able to
yeah,
provide us with quality entertainment that distracted us from, a really tough
appreciate
time.
it.
You know what I'm saying? And we got some
Appreciate it.
dope
Appreciate
moments.
it.
We got, first of all, how the hell did you come up with Murda Mook versus Street Hymns? That was so left field. You know what I'm saying? Rex did his viral, what he did in that Rex versus J400. You know what I'm saying? Diz versus 40 Cal, another
Yeah,
unorthodox matchup.
man.
And then Shoddy Horror versus Ill Will. Like, how did you even, what's the science behind all that?
Yeah, that's so social distance too. Luckily, it was a virtual battle. I don't know if anybody outside of hitting the lottery would ever try to afford that, like on stage. But I still stand on saying that on paper, that's the biggest card ever.
It's a fact. It's a
Ever.
fact.
It's the biggest card ever. It had like 20 something matches, of
Crazy.
course. We had celebrities all in the intro doing, skits for the intro for us and everything. Like that was crazy. You had Hollow versus Mac, Hollow the Don versus Mac. But yeah, the Mook and Street Hymns, the way that came about was Street Hymns was being rewarded for the previous one of being voted for the best visual.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He battled Sharon and he had like a fake Sharon come to his crib and battle like a mailman or something like that. But it was so sick.
Yeah.
For him to put that amount of effort and work to it, we kind of rewarded him. And it was so sick because I was telling him, record a social distance round, be more general. You'll find out when it drops who you're battling. So
Mm.
he never knew.
Damn.
He never knew. Now, Mook knew. Mook done did interviews saying that he didn't know because he didn't want the narrative on him that he would take a street hymns. But I'm not letting that sit because one of us would have to be lying then, and I'm not letting him.
You not
I'm not
taking
letting
that?
him do
Okay,
that.
okay.
Nah, I'm not. I'm not. The fact is we debated and argued. At one point, Mook was asking me to battle him because he wanted to use it as an opportunity to get all his league owner rants off, and I just declined.
Mook is crazy.
Yeah, I just declined.
He
But so
dodged the bullet.
we stuck with yeah, we stuck. It was a funny idea, and for all I know, Mook would have had a field day with it, and probably would have. Who knows what type of viewership it would have did? But
Word.
I stuck to my guns. I was just like, that's not my lane, you know. So we're gonna do street hymns. It got edited up, and then we dropped that, and then street hymns was like, what? Like Murda Mook? Yeah, like you know, that's who we matching you up with.
Amazing.
So it was really him getting rewarded. You know what I'm saying? As far as that, the 40 cal and Diz one was crazy too because for me. I didn't have so many negotiations with Diz
Mm,
about getting him to RBE, and like people know the history. You know, I tried to put him and Math
of
together at least
course.
like
Of
twice.
course.
You know, and it fell out a couple times, and I always felt like it wasn't going to be easy to have Diz perform in some of the cities that we worked in. You know what I'm saying? So when I finally was able to get him on a social distance, I just put a checkbox like I got Diz on the channel rapping unique rounds for RBE battle that I coordinated. Fuck it, I'll take it. Because I like being able to work with the legends for our whole legacy. So that was dope. But then 40 Cal just out of nowhere in the middle of his round brings Math on screen, and it was just like, oh my god, like this is gonna think I lined them up, like you know what I'm saying. And so it was what it was, but. Nah, epic shit, man.
For real.
Epic to deliver something like that. Once again, just theming. And that's why, we knew that we had URL doing quarantine. And that was pretty much like, you do virtual verse, they do a virtual verse, we put it together.
Hmm.
We wanted to concentrate on the visuals. And it was what I did. It was literally say, I want to give you guys the creativity to make sure that you focus on your background, your visuals, your effects, and we're even going to do judging based on it and give rewards for it, like AKA street hymns or like
Mm.
bags that we did on the first card and all that. And that's why I'm in the trailer. I'm in the backyard and I got a piece of it while I'm in my attic and all this type of shit. And it's just like really trying to push that concept of visuals.
Amazing.
You know what I'm
You've
saying?
been an
So it was
innovator.
fun. It was
You've
fun.
been an innovator, RP. Salute.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So moving right along, and I'm gonna try to get you out of here shortly. I don't want to keep you forever, and I appreciate you even giving
That's
me
so
this
good.
opportunity. Max Out
Nah,
1,
likewise, man.
Cassidy versus Hitman Holla, 6.2 million views. Max Out 2, Hitman Holla
Yeah.
versus Calicoe, 2.5 million views. Max Out 3,
Yeah.
Hitman Holla versus Ill Will, 1.6 million. Just niggas not even doing the million no more. I gotta ask you, which was your
Yeah.
favorite Max Out headliner? And I need you to tell me who you had winning for all three.
So from a battle rap standpoint, the best one to me clearly is Hitman versus Ill Will, and that's another reason why I won Battle of the Year for 2023 from Champion.
Okay.
Like, and that was a very personalized legacy RBE booking. It's a matchup that I was after for about 3 years. In the year prior when I tried to do it, Hitman, he had to fall back because Ill Will was coming off of the Rosenberg uh performance. And
That was tough.
Holla likes to maximize the look. Yeah, he likes to maximize the look. But also at the same time, Ill Will was getting a lot of fan feedback as he deserved of he needs to be with the greats.
100%.
Right. So when we started the year, I said, Will, that's my route. We started it with him versus Hollow the Don. You know what I'm saying? And he knew during that matchup, and then as well as the 40 bars matchup, and as well as the King Los matchup, that they were all performances, win or lose, he had to deliver because I'm going to get you that Hitman battle. You know what I'm saying? So the legacy behind that matchup, the amount of time it took me to finally get it done, and the fact that it got ranked the way that it got ranked, on such an epic, one of the best cards and one of the best events of all time, like that's number one for me.
100.
Number two is the Cassidy and Hitman because of the impact of it. It's literally one of the biggest battle rap main events in battle rap history due to the viral nature and the promotion and the
The
face
face
off.
off.
To be honest. Yeah, to be honest. Like it was everywhere. I had people constantly in other countries DMing, tweeting us like, yo, do you know how massive this is? And then we got to talk about definitely like anybody can contest me if they want. I'd love to. It's got to be top 3 pay-per-views of all time.
It has
I
to
would
be.
love to. I would love to be proven
It
wrong.
has to be. It
You know
has
what
to
I'm
be. The whole world tuned in
saying?
for that. It has to be. It has to be.
Yeah, it was epic, man. It was crazy, and that event, that whole event delivered, and it was such a good event. That's why I overdid it with the whole "Do you believe" shit on stage. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that was my whole play on how dare you doubt us.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then of course of it with the venue being called or being named Believe Music Hall. So it was like a play on like my own little fake rapper moment. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
respect it, but you're not
it was
you're
big.
not getting away with it, ARP. I see what you're doing. Cass versus Hitman.
Nah, I
Who
know, I
won?
know, I
Who
know, I
won?
know. Who won Cavs versus Hitman? Let me really try to go back now and think about it.
We argue about this
So I think
offline.
I think Hitman wrote uphill a little
Hmm.
bit and Cass wrote downhill a little bit. Like
Okay.
Cass's best round was his first round,
Absolutely.
and Hitman, similar to the Geechee thing,
Hmm.
like he closed out real
That's
strong,
true.
brought out the cannon and all
That's
that.
true.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give Cass the first
Hmm.
because the energy that he was able to create, in not just the footage, but in the battle by referencing um, the face
Hmm.
off, which was viral, and then of course the whole like swear to God and all that type of shit.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give him the
Hmm.
first. I'm gonna give Hitman the
Hmm.
third. And I'm not bullshitting because they're both my niggas.
Hmm.
I'm close to both of
Of
them. Like the
course.
second is a little, yeah, it's a little iffy. It's you can't lose either way. Whoever you pick for the second.
Okay. Hitman Holla versus Cal. Who you have?
Hitman took the
Hmm.
first. Cal might have took the third.
Hmm.
I'm really trying to remember the second. I might got Hitman edge in that
I'm
battle.
not mad at that. Hitman versus Ill Will. Who you have?
Oh, pure preference battle.
A hundred
Pure
percent.
pure
100.
preference battle.
Classic. By the way. By the way.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get a classic battle that's not close.
Hmm. I
So you
agree.
know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. So the Blue Room. How did you come up with that? Once again, proving you are an innovator. Every battler, whether they admit it or not publicly, every battler on planet Earth wants a Blue Room battle. How'd you come up with that?
Yeah. Yeah, the Blue Room is why y'all got one of the best battles of this year, which is Lux versus Rum Nitty. That's a fact. And so we were going back and forth, and the only reason I'm saying that is not to be an asshole. I'm just what you said of every battler wanting to be in the Blue Room. So the story of that battle is the Hitman and Lux battle not happening because I'm in retirement mode, and also Hitman is like he doesn't want to jump right back in the ring. He'd rather try to watch Lux do something, being that he felt he was coming off of a classic battle versus Ill Will,
Wow.
right? So me and Lux, we was on the phone for like a whole week and a half, and I never saw Lux that energetic towards getting a battle done. Like
Mm.
he wasn't playing. Like he was on my line constantly. At one point, I'm on the phone with him debating, and Hitman called me. I put him on 3-way, and I let them argue and talk for a minute. Like, and then we got off the phone. You know what I'm saying? It was just like that. And then I think by the time Lux was pretty clear that it wasn't going to happen, he was asking me about other
Hmm.
potential matchups, and I think he might have mentioned Rum Nitty in a group of a couple people. And I hadn't had any type of business conversation with Rum Nitty in a very, very long time. So
Okay.
I told him, I said, why don't you go tweet the battle and see, what it stirs up. I want to see what Rum Nitty, I see what the culture does. Like, go ahead. Sure enough, that's it. That's when he says you could Blue Room, right? I say about 2 weeks later, him and Nitty was locked in. Right?
Oh man.
No. Don't say oh man because I wasn't gonna book it. So the thing
Okay.
is,
Okay.
what regardless of where the motivation or the urgency or what the inspiration comes from, the fans got a classic battle in Lux versus Nitty. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Definitely.
And
Definitely
and to
battle of
be
the year.
so real about it, that's happened in multiple. That's probably happened on RBE as well, where I saw something and I might have been motivated to go towards it. So that's not. I don't want people to
Okay.
think that. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens in all directions. It's just I'm the one. I'm just being
100%.
honest. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have any ego towards being honest about it. In that particular
Of
case,
course.
it just happened in the opposite direction. You
Sorry
know what
is
I'm saying?
true. Go ahead.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, the Blue Room. That's that. I can't take credit for that without putting Ruin Your Day. You know what I'm saying? Like now you got to put the matches in there. You got to be willing to promote it. You got to be willing to take the chance. You got to want that type of footage on your channel. You got to believe in it. You have to construct cards for it. You have to ask for it. You have to want to do it. But that initial lighting, Alvo was just like, walk in and tell me what you think about it. And I said, let's try it. And when I saw the first card that we did in it, and I was wearing like a pink hat. And when I saw the footage, it was like glowing on the footage. And I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna stay here. And then the venue being the size that it was, the acoustic sound of it, and me being a big proponent of smaller environments and putting certain matchups in there, I decided to run with it for my whole little retirement run of 2023, and it just turned into what it turned into.
Legendary, absolutely legendary, innovative, legendary, incredible. That's something battle rap that's in the books. You understand? Like you can't mention battle rap without talking about the Blue Room. So
Appreciate
salute.
it.
And speaking of legendary and in the books, rest in peace to the icon Pat Stay.
Rest in peace, Pat Stay.
Truly incredible battles on RBE. I remember when it
Yeah.
was first announced, I was having my doubts about how he would translate, but he ended up doing phenomenal. What do you remember from Pat Stay?
I know he's going to translate, but what I remember from Pat Stay is it's crazy because there are certain personalities and people in the culture that what you get from them on camera is also what you get from them off camera in private. And when people see that duality of Pat Stay being somebody that could be serious, somebody that can be relatable, somebody that can come off like a gentle giant, somebody that can be funny as hell, he's on and off cam. He's the same exact way. You know what I'm saying? Very cool, very humble. Me watching him over the years before we booked him versus no, Danny Myers wasn't his first booking. Aye Verb was, I believe. But before his first showing on RBE, or it might be reversed, I forget. No, actually,
I think it was Danny. I think it was Danny, and then
no.
Verb.
The reason why it was Verb first is because Verb versus Mook came on the card after, which is when he battled Danny on the Rare Breeds card.
That's right. You 100%
Yeah.
right.
So and
100% right.
that's when he got swapped from Shaka and Suge because we initially had contracted him and Shaka and Suge, and then the history of that battle happened. And then we swapped him to Danny. You know what I'm saying? But that's a story of his humility as well, because when people did what they did, attacking the Rare Breeds card, I went to him and I said, yo, the Shook battle is off the table, and he was very, very humble. He was just like, look, man, let's discuss a couple opponents and I'm with you. I'll figure it out. I hate when leagues go through this. King of the Dot has been through, like, I know stories and I hate that, you're dealing with some of this stuff, but I'm with you. Iron Solomon was the exact same way. That's how Iron Solomon ended up with Big K, because initially he had all red. He was the same way, humble, like, man, listen, I don't like seeing shit like this in the culture, and whatever you need, I'm here. Match me up with whatever you want to do. And I just appreciated Pat and Iron for shit like that. But yeah, sticking on Pat is just his humility, him being such a down-to-earth guy despite being one of the biggest names. Like, I stood behind Pat Stay, not because I was rooting for him, it's just how I ended up on stage when he had his title match versus Diz. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching
100%.
him as a fan. And if you was in the building at that event in Toronto, it was like a larger than life moment. And then fast forward, when I got a chance to work with him, seeing how down to earth he was, you know what I'm saying? Damn near, like, I had to tell him, like, man, like, you got more stripes in the culture than me. Why are you talking to me like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? That's how Pat Stay really, 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 really was. And then, what also was like it's still to this day an honor, after his passing, his unfortunate passing, was he did an interview with Three Letterman, right? Like a couple of weeks before he passed.
Salute 3.
And he said his favorite performance is versus Danny Myers. And then when you go to the top of his Instagram, his Haymaker versus Danny Myers is what's pinned to the top of his Instagram.
Maybe all those battles pulling out would have taught you something. Ooh.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, and it's just like, there's no touching his legacy, of course, on King of the Dot. There's no 100%. Touching that legacy that he built there, that they built together. But for him to say that and then his Instagram be left like that, and then, his unfortunate passing, it was just like, this is why you always just got to treat people with honor and respect, whether you're first time meeting them, first time working with them, second time working with them, because you just never know how much it means to them. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So,
100%.
Yeah, shout out to Pat.
God bless Pat Stay. Very controversial questions. We got to run through them real quick.
Sure.
You making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, grape or strawberry jelly? What are you doing?
Both.
Don't think about it.
I got both in the pantry. Both.
You're
That's why the
disgusting for
answer came so
using.
fast. I got both.
You're
I'm not saying both
disgusting
of
for
the.
using grape
No, no,
jelly.
not both at the same time. Wait, you said I'm disgusted for eating PBJs? You
You're nasty.
crazy?
Yeah, no, PBJs are great, but using grape instead of strawberry is crazy.
Nah, y'all niggas is tripping, man. Put both in the pantry, man. It
Oh,
depends
you're
on the
wilding.
mood. Depends on the mood.
All right, Mary F. Kill, Nia Long and Best Man, Keisha from Belly, Salma Hayek from Dusk Till Dawn. Don't think about it.
Give me the Mary with from Belly, Shorty from Belly.
Oh, Keisha, yes, let's
Keisha,
go. Okay,
she was too ride or die. She's too ride or
absolutely.
die. Like it's true, man. I didn't have the experience, man. Behind every strong and powerful and successful man is a powerful and a strong stand sturdy woman. And
100%.
she was that in that movie. So I gotta take that for
100%.
Mary. Who else do I
Okay.
got?
All you got left now is Salma Hayek and Dusk Till Dawn, and you got Nia Long in The Best Man.
Now Selma Hayek and Dust Till Dawn. She
She did the snake dance. Take your
Yeah,
time, ARP.
we
Take your
wasn't with
time.
her, so whatever choice I get to step away from that, I ain't trying to deal with what she had niggas dealing with in that movie. Like, I'm cool, man. Like,
So Nia
nah,
Long, okay.
yeah, Nia, she flipped on niggas. I just told you I'm with a chick that's gonna stand stern. Salma
You're
Hayek and Dust
100%
Till
right.
Dawn flipped. So like,
You
nah, you keep
100%.
that. You keep
You
that.
have, you have two talents at RBE, brand new talents. You know, of course, you have incredible history and legacy, but we got to take the time to salute these two. Coach Corleone and Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill is an absolute breath of
Fire.
fresh air. Coach
Yeah.
Corleone is a punching machine. What are your thoughts on those two gentlemen? And salute the Bash Money.
One of my favorites coming up from the brick process that Wayne DeLawrence created, I said for quite some time was Coach Corleone. My favorites was always Remedy Loco, Coach Corleone, I think Caution and Pain. I think those are like the
Pain a
top.
killer.
Yeah, they were in the top five. See, Dollar Bill, I took notice too after those guys, right?
Okay.
More so from I like he really jumped on my radar way more heavy after the Battle Academy versus RBE event that Lawrence Wing did with them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Coach Corleone, you know, he's got all the it factor to me. He's got the stage presence, he's got the vocal projection, he's got the voice, he's got the punches,
And he's a
he's
real
got the
one. Outside of
yeah, he's
all of
got
that,
the
he's a real one.
believability, he's got the
Mm-hmm.
performance. He was always one of my favorites, still is one of my favorites to this day. Actually, he should be coming up very soon in RBE's next round of battles that we're going to be shooting. I don't know if it's going to
Oh,
be
is
full
that right?
circle, but yeah, we'll get to that. I don't know if it's going to
Okay.
be full
Okay.
circle, but we got some battles on the way. I'm pretty sure you guys might see Coach. And as far as Dollar Bill, I was a heavy advocate of trying to see him in a full circle battle, or pretty much what that really meant was a battle that I would have the opportunity to book. You know what I'm saying? Because Wayne and
Fire.
Lawrence, they've done so much booking with the 1SKs and then the brick process and all that.
And
And
salute the Winged and Lawrence. We got to take that time. That's a
100,
strong black queen right
100%,
there.
100%. Like the RBE is not the same without those two people.
Salute to
100%.
both.
Yeah. So them giving me the opportunity to have that much appreciation in Dollar Bill's capabilities made me get selfish. Just like, wait, I want to book him for something myself. Like, so I think it's
Fire.
very, very possible you guys might see Dollar Bill on the next shoot that I put together as well.
Fire. All right. Closing questions. Are there battles that you tried to put together that never happened? Is there a battle on your wish list that you never had a chance to put together? And last but not least, actually, I'll ask you the last question.
Yeah, so there's a million battles we tried to
Go
put
ahead.
together. Yeah, there's a million battles we tried to put together. It never happened. If you've been a league owner long enough, for every battle that you book, there's five that don't happen. Like, so you add up my 10 plus years of matchmaking, there's probably hundreds and hundreds of battles that I just couldn't get done for one reason or another. But one that stands out to me is Loaded Lux versus B Dot. I know.
Oh my God, ARP!
Yeah,
What?
I know the comparisons depending on who you ask. Some people like the comparison, some people don't like the comparison. And I'm cool with whatever type of person that you are. But at the end of the day, as much as Lux is a pioneer, there is no mistaking how great B Dot is. Like B Dot is
100%.
one of the best
One of the
battle
greatest
rappers, yeah,
ever.
to come through the culture. And I said earlier, Daylyt versus Ooops is my top three favorite battles of all time. one of the other battles that's in my top three is B Dot versus Danny Myers. Right. So
Fire.
yeah,
Fire.
so that's the first time I ever saw B Dot was versus Danny Myers. So imagine my first time seeing somebody. You have one of my favorite battles of all time. So
He
if
was
that,
talking
yeah,
again.
if that's what's happening on my side, just as a fan, then you got to know I'm willing to put you in the ring with the best of the best. And then of course the Lux comparison made it that much more of like this makes sense to me. So there was negotiations, but it just never got locked
What?
in.
So y'all sat down and started too?
Yeah, yeah. There's like Lux
Oh
is
my
one
god.
of the few people that Matt I didn't get a chance to get on one of my pay-per-views. He's one of few people, but Lux and I have negotiated battles maybe 10 times, man. Like so many
Oh my
times.
god.
Yeah.
Listen, we're okay with Lux in the full circle, by the way. We're totally okay with that.
Me too.
You know what I
Let me.
mean?
I'll give you a secret. Don't tell anybody. I'll give you a secret of how that
I'm not telling
happened. Don't
nobody.
tell nobody. Couple years from now, as battle rap continues to take more and more matchups off the table, right? And some of our pioneers, some of our legends run more and more out of matchups, and they become further and further away from doing it at the type of pace and frequency that we've seen over the previous, like let's say 5, 6, 7 years, right?
Hmm.
I think people will take legacy or more humble and less business focused matchups, meaning that if I call Hitman Holla 3 years from now to do a matchup that maybe is a checkbox, I don't think he's going to charge me $250,000 to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm waiting. I will patiently wait for that because I think 3 years from now, if me and Lux just happen to get on the phone and talk about something that he wants to do and I want to do, I think it's much easier to happen because battle rap is not in its heyday. You know what I'm saying? Like the heyday was like Lux waiting for him and Daylyt because they're ready to both make $1 million. Those days are drifting away. So when you
Now it's
revisit
just
stuff
back
like
to the
that,
art.
yeah,
Okay.
that and that's you
Okay.
said you summed it up perfectly. Back to the art. I think there's going to be a lot of back to the art matchups that'll be much easier to happen tomorrow than they are to happen today.
I respect that. I respect that. My final question for you, and thank you. I know I went way over time
Nah,
on
nah, you
this,
good,
but
G. I
thank you for
appreciate
being
it.
here. Um, my final question to you is, what do you want your legacy to be, and how do you want the people to remember you, ARP?
So what my legacy, so the RBE legacy and the ARP legacy is two different things to me. The RBE legacy, I'm glad that we accomplished. I wanted to just impact the timeline of battle rap to a point where you can't write a battle rap book without putting RBE in it. And that's because I'm an 80s baby. I'm such a hip hop head. Like hip hop, I couldn't even envision life without hip hop for me personally. I came up watching battle rap. I tried to rap once or twice, wasn't my thing. I sucked. I got in my different lane. You know
I
what
don't
I'm
believe that. I don't believe you were
saying?
bad. I know you good. I know you got bars,
Nah,
but go ahead. Go
nah,
ahead.
I got the thoughts, I got the creativity. I just can't put it in format that well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So to be able to, that's how RBE was born. Like before RBE, I was with Battle Rap Media with Star, and I just couldn't get my ideas to happen. And then, me and Shaka starting RBE, like saying, no more roadblocks of not being able to get your ideas done because you're not the owner. We have to own our own thing. We have to be the end all be all, the final word. That's how RBE was born. You know what I'm saying? So, we fast forward 10 years plus, the library that we created, to have a fan base that's literally world. I go on vacations out the country and it's like, oh, ARP, it's like that is so much of an honor because once again, I'm a hip hop baby. So to contribute to hip hop, like that's one of the biggest things that you could give me in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally a big contributor to hip hop. So the RBE legacy to me is that we stood our way. I would like to think that we were to a degree a black sheep, and there's nothing wrong with that. The road less traveled sometimes. It's a longer path, but you're still going to meet the actual expectations and the finish line that you want to meet. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we did it our way, and I'm proud of that. ARP is totally separate. The ARP thing is just me as a man. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to think that, as my legacy continues, people, continue to uphold my name that this was a guy of integrity. This was a guy of honesty. This was a guy of good intentions, good business, had great visions, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of creativity. And he mixed his own personality. into battle rap, and that was a piece of the formula to RBE. So me as a man, I want to be recognized the same as you would if you know me in my personal life as you would know me in battle rap.
That was strong. ARP, I want to give you your flowers. Not
Appreciate that,
only
G.
have you created one of the greatest battle leagues of all time, you created opportunities for black men and women and people of other
Thank you,
races.
man.
You put together an incredible Sorry It's True podcast platform that is, we pray that you have the most successful
Thank you.
platform of all time, because you
Thank you.
deserve that for all that you've given to our society. When I was homeless, laying on a park bench, stealing Wi-Fi from Starbucks because they used to not turn it off late at night. So I used to watch battles and forget the issues that I was facing. And you created a
Crazy.
lifelong fan out of me with the content that you've created and brought to the culture. And I hope to one
Crazy.
day do that for somebody else, to help them rise above their circumstances and be inspired artistically, creatively. And as a businessman myself, I've studied your moves. You've dropped jewels in every single blog that you've done. There was always something to watch. A man of integrity, giving us information. And when you start to get money, you realize information is more priceless than money, you know, and you've always left little breadcrumbs for us young entrepreneurs coming up and black men to how to carry ourselves, how to learn, how to move with integrity. And you truly are a rare breed. I want to salute your whole team, Shata, Wing,
Appreciate that.
Lawrence, the entire, anyone connected to RBE. Thank you for everything that you've done for the culture. You are appreciated, you are respected, and you going down in the history books as one of the greatest to ever do it. Salute.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate it,
Salute.
man. Everybody out there, man, remember, be a student for life, man. Everybody that's ever supported or will continue to support myself and RBE, just know, man, it's love. It's love.
Love. And I hope we get to collaborate in the near future, ARP. Big
Why
salute.
not, man? I'm still around to a limited capacity. Why not?
All right. God bless you. Thank you for your time. And appreciate everybody for pulling up.
All right, my guy.
One.